So, the Blue Yeti, is it still worth it? Now, when this thing came out back in 2009, it was one of the best USB microphones money could buy. Now, 2009 was also around the time when YouTubers started to take YouTube a bit more seriously and started looking at ways to improve their content. And a lot of them decided that the Blue Yeti was the microphone to take their content to the next level. Now, fast forward a year, 2 years later, a lot of YouTubers are using the Blue Yeti. And a lot of newbies coming along wanting to get into YouTube, start looking for the stuff they need to start their YouTube, and all of them see YouTubers using the Blue Yeti, so they decide they need a Blue Yeti, and the cycle continued for a couple of years. When it got to a point where in 2012, 2013, a huge amount of streamers on Twitch and a lot of YouTubers were all using the Blue Yeti for their streaming and their YouTube videos. Even the Leaf guy was using a Blue Yeti. But that was nearly 10 years ago. So what's the Blue Yeti like now? Well, it sounds like this. And honestly, it ain't too bad. I used the Blue Yeti on my old YouTube channel for 2-3 years, so I kind of figured out how to make this thing sound good. And the way to do that is to use the front-facing audio setting, have the gain on around 50-60%, and hold the microphone front ways directly in front of you. Otherwise, like as you can hear here, it falls apart. So that is the best way to get audio. And if your audio spikes, just put a sock on it. It's a whole lot cheaper than buying a filter. And it gives you the exact same results. So what about these other modes, eh? Well, we've got this one here, which is used for recording from the front, from the left, from the back, on the right, and from the right side. That's what that one's for. Then we have this mode, which is for recording from the front and from the back, but not from the side. And there's another setting from recording left and right audio. So what's the point of those other modes? Those modes are for recording more than one person. So how do those modes work? Well, there are 3 microphones inside this microphone. One there, one on the back, one on the left, one on the right, and one on the front. So this allows for 360-degree audio recording, which would be great for podcasts or such. I think the idea was you could stick this in the middle of the table on your handy little stand and have people gather around and have a full-on podcast with one microphone. Though I find if this thing is any further than like 1 foot away from you, the audio quality just drops, and 2 feet away can barely hear you. And then if you turn the gain up way high, then it picks everything up and it's just one loud mess. So yes, it does have its multiple modes, but I have come to find only one of them sounds decent. So, should you buy this thing in 2022? I would personally say no, especially when you can get mics like this. This is the Fifine audio gaming mic from a Chinese company, I'm presuming. I got this thing here for £60. Comes with the stand, so you know, the stand's really helpful. I always found the Blue Yeti annoying with the big heavy stand. Moving it around is a pain. This thing, you know, you record your audio. When you're done, you flick it up, it's out of your way, and you can get back to work on your computer, no issues. While this thing, as I said, you have to have the whole stand sitting here. When you're finished, you just gotta lift it up. It's still sitting on your desk, it's still on the way. It's just a pain to have. Now, I'm not saying the Blue Yeti is a bad choice. I'm simply saying you can get mics for half the price that sound very similar or sometimes even better than the Blue Yeti. Plus, the Blue Yeti kind of has this stigma about it being a beginner's microphone. So if you have one of these, you're viewed as a beginner. I don't know. I think since so many beginners had it and so many people had it back in the amateur days of YouTube, it's just viewed as the amateur microphone. It sounds perfectly fine, but it definitely does have a bit of a stigma around it. Anyways, I'll leave the links for the Blue Yeti and the Fifine gaming audio mic in the description below. I might even link a few other budget microphones down there if you're interested in checking those out. So yeah, if you really want the Blue Yeti, go for it. But you can get microphones that sound exactly the same for 1/3 of the price. Yeah, see ya.